should address Nigerian problems. We should not.
Our lens every Monday to Friday by 9:05 a.m. as women across Nigeria tackles trending issues, one honest, thought-provoking discussion at a time. Because when women speak, the world listens.
Thank you so much for staying with us right here on your Women Radio WFM 91.7. This is our lens right here on Nigeria's first radio station for women and their families. And it's about 8 minutes after 9 right here on Women Radio. So yes, my name is Rose Yusuf Kaiser, and of course it's a Thursday. So the week is beginning to wind up, and we're gradually seeing the end of so yeah, things will definitely fall into place, hopefully. This January is just for you to say, okay, oh, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to do. Commit it into God's hand, see how you can strategize and make sure that this year is good for you. I hope that all of those are getting in place. All right, so yeah, once again, my name is Rose Yusuf Kaiser. You're welcome to the program Her Lens, where we get to discuss, dissect, and disagree on topical issues right here on Nigeria's first radio station for women and their families. And I also have the ladies of Our Lens with me this morning. First off, I have Susan Iyoma. Susan, good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. Good morning. I'm very well. Thank you. Good morning, Our Lens family. Thank God it's Thursday.
Yeah, so. All right, it's good to have you join us, Susan. Good morning, Buki. How are you today? How is your Thursday starting up?
Yes, Buki is doing great, and I want to thank God. Yes, starting off, a bit loaded, but we want to thank God. God has been our helper, so we want to thank God. Susan, it's nice to see you here.
All right, it's good to have you all join us this morning on the program, Harlan. So we'll just go ahead and start up with the very first issue that I think, okay, it's with Buki that we touched on it yesterday morning about the lady who, died because of medical negligence, where the doctors forgot scissors inside her, during an operation. And so that's what we'll be starting off with this morning. But in the meantime, please feel free to send in WhatsApp messages, text messages to 07031756537 or 08155917917. Those are the numbers to send in WhatsApp messages. We will be opening up the phone line shortly. But for now, let's look at this headline that says the Kano government suspend doctors who left scissors in patient's stomach. Okay, that's what we're looking at. So I know that Buki is always saying that we need to see heads roll. We need to see heads roll so that we hold people accountable and others will learn from this to know that, oh yes, we're holding people accountable for what they are doing or what's going on. So we need to hold people accountable, and this is part of it. So we're talking about this because it's a good thing to see that, okay, investigations were done and were completed, because one of the concerns we had when we were looking at it on the daily news review was that they might do this investigation now. We'll not see the end of this investigation, or we might not even come out. They might not even come out to tell us that, oh, this was what they found and this is who is being punished for it. We might not see any of it. But we will investigate. So that is one of the concerns that we had. But now we're seeing that, Kano State Hospital Management Board has admitted that the death of Aisha to Umar, a mother of 5, was caused by medical negligence at the Abubakar Imam Urology Center in Kano. Now, in a statement by the public relations officer of the hospital, Samira Suleiman, they said that the preliminary investigation ordered by the executive secretary, Dr. Mansur Mudin Nagoda, confirmed that surgical scissors were left inside the patient's body after the procedure. Now, the board announced the immediate suspension of 3 personnel directly involved in the case for clinical duties. Now, it also referred the matter to the Kano State Medical Ethics Committee for further investigation and disciplinary measures in line with the professional standards and the law. It just goes on to say they reassured the public that negligence would not be condoned in any form, just in the statement that they brought out. So many Nigerians took to demand for justice for what happened to her. But here we are saying that okay, something is being done, and these people are held accountable. So hopefully we continue to see all of this. So I'd just like to get all of our thoughts as regards this, and then we'll move on to other things. But in the meantime, good morning, Ibinabo. Happy Thursday to you. How is this Thursday starting up?
Okay.
Yay, we're seeing Ibinabo today. It's good to see you.
So good morning. Good morning, Rose Gurley. Good morning, Susan. Good morning, Buki Efe. It's great to be here. Good morning to all our valued listeners. Thank you.
All right. Good morning to you too, Binabo. Thank you for joining us this morning. So, Susan, let's start with you on this one. What's your thoughts on Kano government suspending the doctors who left the scissors in the patient's stomach? And I remember that Buki was also mentioning that, before surgery, they get to line up all of this, equipment and, all of what they need, the tools they need. They will line them up according to sizes or according to their names, just so the doctor could be able to use easily. So how come when this one was used, they could not account for it after the surgery? And to the extent that it was left there, that has led to the death of this woman. And this is something that she complained over time, but they kept giving her painkillers and all of that till it got out of hand. And now, even here on the picture, for this report, we are seeing the scan of the scissors lying down there in her, body. So, what's your thoughts on this? And for the fact that yes, so somebody head don't roll, as Buki will say.
Okay, so first off, I want to say that this is a preventable tragedy.
Yeah.
That's the truth. And again, it highlights the gaps that we have in the medical system. A lot of things. Today is 15th or thereabouts, but we've recorded a lot of deaths,
Mm,
from different hospitals, not only in Kano, you know, and this is ranging from oversight and, not looking at the patient's safety. You understand? So, leaving a whole scissors of that size in a person, for me, it's worrisome. It's no news that maternal mortality is an emergency in Nigeria. It's no news, you know. And so we already have so much that we cannot deal with errors at this time. You know, why do we make these mistakes? Is it that the doctors who are carrying out these surgeries are tensed up? Are they overwhelmed? What is actually the problem? Because for you, okay, you just stated you arrange all of these things. So it also helps you in accountability. It also helps you to say, okay, I brought out 3 pairs of scissors, of this. After the surgery, did you look through to see that, you had all of these things? And it also shows that women's life is at risk. I mean, how do I feel when I get pregnant and I'm not even sure if I'll make it um, come out alive? Again, I want to say that accountability is the first step. We're happy
mm,
that Kano State, whatever, has, done well by suspending the doctors. But I tell you, with all sense of humility, it doesn't prevent the next one. We
mm,
need full investigation. That's the truth. We need transparent findings. We need sanctions where necessary. And we need mandatory safety retraining for medical things. Don't say because someone is a medical doctor, he knows it all. There should be trainings and retrainings. That is why continuously our health system is changing, is failing by the day. Our health systems, must change. We need, you know, what's that organization? World Health Organization. We need their surgical safety checklist to retrain our medical systems, you know. I've talked about counting and tracking of instruments. We also need better supervisions in the theater. We already know theater is life and death. Why
Mm.
allow our people go through this? Look at all the money people raise just to go for this because it's their last resort. And then they come out and they lose their loved ones. So I am also looking at a situation whereby we're looking at reduced workload and burnout for doctors and nurses because
Mm.
on her lens, we're looking at a holistic approach. We're not going to just, focus on one side. No. While we look at this side, we look at the other side of the coin. We actually need systems that save lives, not reactions after tragedy. I am traumatized when there's tragedy and, there's reaction, social media goes agog. And just like we said, who holds the other accountable after this suspension? What happens? It's not about what has happened now. We're looking at prevention, so that the next person does not have to go through this again. Let our
Mm.
health team understand the procedure. Who is
Yeah.
responsible? Someone must be responsible. In projects, when we execute projects, there is a project officer or a project manager. And so the person holds everyone in the team accountable to ensure that that project we give the deliverables. That's why we are funded. And so if we also bring that to the health system, when people bring out their money to go for surgeries, they want to leave. Some of those monies are borrowed, some are raised, they do fundraising to raise that money. So why do people come, you know, and they pass? Every maternal death is a story cut short. You
Mm.
know, behind the case of that woman, her baby, there is a family behind her, whether it is her in-laws or her immediate family who have lost someone there. So, I mean, we must, as a matter of urgency, seek reforms, not just mourning. I don't want to, this is early. I don't want the mourning. I don't want the circle of people losing children, losing women, losing youths, losing different people. I know so many people have read online this year,
Mm.
that have lost their lives. We must take collective responsibility as citizens, as government, as a health system, including those in charge of whether it's commissioner of health, whatever. From top to bottom, we must hold each other accountable. I think we are at that space now where we need to.
This is the program Alex, where we have women from different geopolitical zones come together to discuss, dissect, and disagree on topical issues right here on Women Radio. So please do well to dial the numbers 07000 917 917. You can also dial 09155 917 917. Also dial the number 09 our toll free number 0800 1235 917. Feel free to send in WhatsApp and text messages to 070 56537 or 08155 917 917. All right, Ibinabo, let me come to you on this. Let's have your thoughts on this particular, case of this lady who died because the fetus was left in her stomach during surgery. But the Kano state government has suspended doctors. So we're getting to see that all of those who are directly involved with this have been suspended. About three people have been suspended. So, is this the way to go? And how do we make this better? For accountability's sake, like Susan said, and for transparency's sake, and to make sure that this does not keep happening. Because I mean, if only maybe the husband of this lady had the resources that he could, maybe he would have ended up suing the hospital. Maybe he would have done this. But for a case like that of Chimamanda, she, probably would sue and drag it to the highest level because she has the resources, she's a public figure and all of that. But for somebody like this, he might probably not go further than what he's getting right now. So let's look at lessons to learn and how we can move forward. And then Buki will wrap this conversation up for us.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everyone. The lady, I listened keenly to Susan, and she actually mentioned a lot that I would have mentioned too. But in addition to what she has said, you see, there are procedures, there are protocols as a surgeon. You see, one thing I feel is lacking at this point is the fact that some medical doctors are beginning to get ahead of themselves. Not all of them. Some of them are getting ahead of themselves, feeling too big for their shoe size. I'm telling you. I had a nasty experience with a doctor, a medical doctor, the owner of a hospital.
Hmm.
Yes, and it's a private hospital at that. I took my child to the hospital. You know, a child, she was a bit agitated, you know, that kind of a thing. I should be the one feeling somehow that, what is wrong with you? Calm down. Nobody's going to kill you here. You understand? And I felt that it was the place of the hospital staff to understand how best to handle the situation. And what did they do? We got to the medical director. And he couldn't even hold his peace. He couldn't even, you know, sometimes when you are so scared, oh, what is it? What is wrong with you and everything? And the doctor speaks. You know, I've met with doctors who, they will make a very dangerous situation seem very light when they talk to you. This medical doctor was a complete embarrassment to himself, and I had to call him to order. You know how much was paid? Do you know what you are doing here? What example are you laying for your junior doctors? If you are like this, then what do we expect from our junior doctors? And he had to call himself to order, and he gave excuse that he had been going in and out of the theater, he's under pressure and everything. I said, see, you are human, but then you are trained to save lives. People who are trained to, I'm not a doctor, but I have a few doctor friends. And I know how their lives are. When they are with you as a friend, it's something different. But once you are meeting them at the hospital, they are different entirely. The way they talk to you, the way they handle situations, it's like, is this not my friend? But how come you lost your peace? You lost your grip. He apologized profusely and all of that. So I now imagine if that same moment he had to go in for surgery. What is going to happen to the patient? Because, you know, sometimes when something has not happened yet, it's like, oh, what is there? We can take care of things and all of that. So this is an advice to doctors out there. It is better you step outside of the hospital and breathe than to stay there and keep working and continue to work and kill your patients like they did to this woman. And then again, the height of negligence. How much does it cost to carry out a scan? That when this woman you had an operation,
Yes.
and she kept complaining about the tummy. What is wrong with going for a scan?
Somewhere else. It mustn't be that place.
I mean, for a stretch of 4 months, and nothing was done until she lost her life. See, yes, above and beyond a suspension, they will carry out investigation. I don't know what they want to carry out investigation for, because already the facts are there. But for due process sake, they should carry out investigation. And these set of people must, if they don't totally lose their license, they must be suspended for a very long time. That will serve as a deterrent to others. Because you see, I was just looking through everywhere, and I realized that we know, like Susan mentioned it, but I'll just quickly summarize it. We have, there are strict surgical counts. It's a protocol. Incision, before closure of cavity, before final skin closure. You must count aloud and document and verify by at least 2 people, usually a nurse and a surgeon, everything that was brought to be used on this patient. Then the thing, you know, there's so many things you need to do. You go in, it's like, there was a time there was a particular year, my children were very little then. Then I had my nieces and nephews. It was during Christmas. Then I had some of my children's friends. Actually, I had about 13 children in my house. The oldest then was about 10 years.
Hmm.
And I took these 13 children in 2 different cars. We had a bus and I drove the car. We went to different places of fun. We went to the National Theatre. Then it was still fairly, now he's okay now. He's good now. We went there. There was this set up by a company, beautiful tree and everything. So the children wanted to go there. I took them. We went to different places. But for goodness sake, I was looking and I was the only one with the driver overseeing these children. I kept on carrying out head count. Okay, where is this person? Where is this person? Until we left to different places and then we got back home. How could a surgeon? It is a protocol. If you are tired, it is better you tell that you are burnt out so that it's better than you forcing yourself to do something and then killing somebody. And then it's not a matter of one being burned out. Now,
Yeah.
you could do a mistake, but you could rectify it. I remember a man said they carried out a surgical or whatever on him and left something in his body. By the time he complained once or twice, they had to carry out a scan and saw, and then cut him open again. It was at least he's alive. So what are we talking about? There are protocols. The counts of everything, every utensil before you cut the person open, before you close up the person. And after you are closed, because you are still going to be using some of these utensils, some of these items, whatever they call them, surgical tools. So by the time you are done, you still count and make sure that everything you brought into the theater,
Yeah.
complete, and you are taking everything out to go and sterilize again. That was gross negligence. It shouldn't stop at, and they should be punished. Their licenses should be seized. It will serve as a deterrent. I'm sorry that probably you want to look at some other aspect like maybe protocol. It's a public hospital, government hospital. They have this very unnecessary stretch of protocol and everything. That's no excuse. A life has been wasted. Some families are bereaved as we speak. A husband, wife, parents have lost their daughter, children have lost their mother, siblings have lost a sibling, friends have lost a friend. So please, it shouldn't stop and at the usual investigation that they will investigate if the kingdom comes. There should be an end to the investigation, which is punishment. And then the family, whether you have the money or not, you can sue. There are people who you, except they want to just leave it. Okay, let's leave it. After all, what does that bring her back? But if you want to sue, you can sue. You don't have to have all the money in this world to do that. There are people you can approach who can take up the case. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Binabo, for your thoughts on this, and how you spoke passionately on this particular case. A life has been lost, which you cannot get back. So, how do we stop all of this from happening? Because it's like every day, every minute, these things happen in different forms. It could be on children, it could be on adults, it could be on teenagers, it could be on newborns, it could be on, a woman who just gave birth, it could be on anything, anybody at all. These things are happening. Negligence in the highest order of it. You're supposed to give so millimeter of drug, you go and give overdose, or you give something else and thinking that, oh, I was supposed to give this one, instead I gave this one. All of these things actually come together. Yes, we know that we're not in the best of times when it comes to our health sector presently in Nigeria, but you as a human, are we doing our own parts? I be somebody go vex you outside as a nurse or as a doctor, you go carry that same vex, come back on the use am on top patients with the hospital, where they try get better from wetin dey happen. Only work now. We just need to do better. All right, this is your Women Radio WFM 91.7, 28 minutes to 10 right here. And of course, I still have Susan, Ibinabo, and Buki with me this morning on the program. Lens, which comes to you Mondays to Friday at 9:05 a.m. So this is where we get to discuss, dissect, and disagree on topical issues every day of the week. Now, to be a part of the program, you can dial 07000 You can also dial 09155 Our toll-free number is 0800 And of course, feel free to send in WhatsApp messages or text messages to 070 317-56537 or 08155 917 917. All right, Buki, let's hear your concluding thoughts on this, and then you just wrap this conversation up for us.
Okay, thank you very much. I mean, everyone has said, um, the essential things to be said concerning this matter, and it's just basically what I had said. I think when we did this 2 days ago, or was it yesterday? I can't remember now. But beyond that, I was actually thinking. I said, what exactly happened? Thank God they are doing the investigation. Thank God they have suspended. I told you that it's not just the doctor. People
Yeah.
were there, the nurse, the anesthesia. They have their way of doing it. I'm not a medical person, but at least I've gone through a surgery years ago, so I know everything. And of course, even if you watch television, you know that it's not just one person, and they have procedures. Just like Junabo has said before, during, and after.
After.
And even if you search again, because I had to do a little bit of search, when they see that there is a disparity, they stop the surgery, they count, they find out where that thing is. So obviously they have seen that these things do happen. And you can imagine a doctor who has been stressed, who has done a whole lot. You understand? At
Mm.
that time, you might not be able to count, but they have also made measures because there can be human error. You can forget. These things, there are
Yeah.
times these things are small. You can forget. But there are measures that they have put that, okay, count before, count during, count after. But you see, my own now is, if you really look deep, and it's not just in the medical sector, it's everywhere. This I don't care attitude, anyhow mindset. Let's just do it. After all, nobody will be held accountable. It permeates everywhere. Do you know why I came up with this? Let us even say they did not count. One scissors is missing. I also know that there are times they use disposable scissors. Okay,
Mm.
but I also understand that even with that, they will have to count because they know that human error can occur. We are not God. We are only trying, to be experts in what we are doing. The question for me is, even after even after that surgery, let us forget the fact that the woman kept coming back, because that one's another big deal. Did they carry out another surgery? So did they realize that one is
Something
missing?
is missing. Yeah.
Even if they have different sets, because I'm picturing so many things. Probably they have about 4 sets. Does that mean that within that space of 4 months that this woman was complaining, they never had cause to work on a particular set? Or was it an anyhow thing that's, well, eléyìí ti miss, bóyá bá mi lọ mú we do these things. We don't care. Bá mi lọ mú yẹn wá nínú kinní yẹn. And nobody's asking questions. So even the stock, the inventory people, they need to really investigate to know what to do and come up with continuous improvement process. I'm always an advocate of that. We do not pray that accidents will happen, but when it does, what are the lessons we need to learn? And that is
Yeah.
where I want to stop here today, to say that aside from suspending, yes, they have to, because their life is lost. They could
Mm.
have done so many things. When that woman kept coming back, they could have said, you know what, let's even do an x-ray. We are looking for a particular scissor. They don't need to tell them. You understand? When they found out that a particular scissors was missing, they could have called her to say, oh, we want to come and check and to be sure everything is okay. We want to do an x-ray and all that and all. And if they found the scissors there, they now have to tell the people, sorry, oh, we have to remove this scissors. So you understand? Yes, I know there's going to be upcry. We are going to talk and talk and talk, but a life will have been saved. You understand? So what
Mm.
am I saying here is that while they are doing the investigation, please can they begin to make improvements?
Yeah.
I don't know what they call them, but in the business, whatever we call it, standard operating procedures. Can they begin to make improvement? And they must now insist it is being carried out. So this is where the retraining, comes. Refresher courses comes. And if an hospital must carry out surgical procedures, they must, they must do this. They must not miss any. And like I said, it's not just in the medical, even in the food. People, restaurants, kitchen, whatever, how we prepare our food. There are standards, right? The mechanics, there are standards. Everywhere there are standards. So let us not just focus on medical today. Let us also look everywhere. In our sector, there are standards so that we do not lose any life. And then nobody will come to say, oh, you are negligent on your duty. It's a sign of irresponsibility. May the Lord
Hmm.
help us. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Buki, for your thoughts and the way forward on this. I just hope that, we get to do things in a better way. We get to do things properly.
Hello, good
All right,
morning.
we have a call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, ladies. Good morning, Rose.
Good morning, Mrs. Oboli. You're welcome.
Good
Go
morning.
ahead, let's hear it.
Quickly, let me just
Yeah.
chime in before you wrap this discussion up. Good morning, Madam Idenabo, Rose, Susan, Buki as well. Good morning, everyone. You see, I just want us to balance up issues here. I know we've blamed the doctors because of their negligence, but also there's this ongoing conversation of why are we not also putting the doctors into consideration? And I think I would like to speak to that this morning.
Hmm.
See, as far as I'm concerned, a doctor who is fatigued, who is under pressure, who is tired, has no business dealing with patients. And the problem with this avoidable death resulting from doctor's negligence is the fact that a life that has been lost can never be resuscitated. Now that it's been suspended, so when they give you a prescription or drugs, you are scared of asking salient questions because of the offhanded manner they would respond to you. Have a manner. It is lives we are talking about here. A presenter said this morning on a radio station that cotton wool was forgotten inside of her mom. And they kept asking questions. And they would just switch them up and tell them, we know what we are doing. Oga, you don't know what you are doing. Times are hard. Talking about my loved one here, you're telling me you know what you are doing. What do you know that you are doing? So any doctor who feels overwhelmed, who is under pressure, should refrain and restrain from attending to any patient. So you don't kill someone in the process of a procedure, or you as well don't collapse while you are at it. Good morning, ladies. This is so painful. God bless you now.
It is. Thank you very much, Mrs. Oboli. Go ahead, Ibinabo.
Okay, I was going to talk about something. I mean, when everything is rigid, rules are ignored, staff are silenced, and the systems are weak.
Hmm.
Now, for all of this to be taken care of, we need to look at very rigid protocols. Protocols must be taken and practiced without looking left or right or center. You have to be straight with it. If you are to count, you count. There are cases that, from what I've read some stories where some nurses will realize that, surgeon, you forgot something. You just walk away. They are too scared. Like I was telling you about my experience recently. When we were at the door of the medical director, you should see the way the nurses and the other younger doctors or junior doctors would carefully, they can't even knock on the door. They are so careful. It's like if you knock a certain way, you're going to lose your job and all of this. This has to stop. That is where the training and retraining comes in. Because we all know that no amount of punishment can bring back a lost life. When a life is lost, it is lost forever. So please, please, and please, whoever is in charge in the ministry, whether state or federal, there is need for a retraining, and then you need to make it clear to the senior ones, to the specialists, that even your staff should not be silenced. When they see something, they should say it. Like if a nurse, a theater nurse realizes that, okay, this thing I've counted is not complete, she should have the boldness to address it and talk to the surgeon on the spot. But some of these people are too scared. Like Mr. Boli said, these doctors make it look as if they are doing you a favor, and you must keep your mouth shut. You shouldn't ask questions. But unfortunately, with somebody like me, you can't shut me down. We will raise doors in that place. So I had an experience just recently, and I was pissed off. And I told him, hey, look, I paid. I didn't pay peanuts. I paid good amount of money to come here and to see you. So you sit down and attend to me with all humility and attention. Yes, he apologized. But what if I was a timid person and I just, this is too stressful. I'm so stressed. We can make a refund and everything. Hell, you can make a refund. It's okay. But I'll publish you, I told you. I'll publish you. I'll talk about you. I'll mention your hospital. I'll mention your name. And I will stand by because I have every evidence recorded. I told him. So you see, imagine somebody who lacks understanding. Imagine a nurse who has already been put in a place where she doesn't have the audacity to query the action or the mistake of her boss. So this is a problem that has to be addressed above and beyond suspension and everything. The people in charge must look into these problems.
Yeah.
Can a doctor talk to a senior doctor? Can a junior doctor tell a specialist, sir, I think you made a mistake here? Is it possible? Because the way I see it, they don't have the audacity. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ibinabo, for adding that to your line of thought. All right, Buki, let's hear you.
Okay, yes. So I wanted to add one or two things to what Mrs. Oboli said, and I had actually captured it when I was saying anyhow matter in Nigeria. She talked about the fact that yes, we can also talk, and make a case for the doctors. It's still this anyhow that we're talking about. I know that doctors go on call, they go on break, you understand? At times, we overuse them, and it's still this anyhow matter. The Oyibo people, I'm sorry to use Oyibo, but we got some of the standards from them. They know that there are times that your brain is tired, you cannot think, and that was why they made a rota. You are the one on duty, and then after you go back, you go rest, and then you are fresh, you come back. But when we now begin to overuse, right? Yes, because of the fact that we don't have enough personnel. So the question is, why don't we have enough personnel? Because at the end of the day, when we overuse, do you know that we have lost some, I think about 4, if I can remember, due to overuse, some consultants, they just dropped dead in the hospital. At least I can count 2 that I remember now. But I know as at the time we were discussing it, we had 2 more cases. That's why I came up with 4. And those were the ones that were even reported. So let us do what is right at all times. Somebody is in charge of administrative duties. Somebody is in charge of ensuring that, okay, who is the doctor on duty and blah, blah, blah. Where instead of you overusing somebody, you can actually outsource. They do things like that just to be sure that at the end of the day, things are done in a proper manner, And then talking about documentation, which I also want to add to what Ibinabo is saying. Well, I only hope a whole lot of people are listening and are getting 1 or 2 things. Talking about the fact that, okay, the nurse will say, Oga, you left something. And then, of course, the doctor will say, shut up. Well, do you want to take me my job? I believe that there are standards in there. If you know...
All right, Buki, just a minute. I'm being told we have a call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. I'm calling from Flagback.
Okay, what's your name?
Good morning. My name is Mrs. Chijuke from Flagback.
All right, Mrs. Chijuke from Flagback. Welcome. Please go ahead. Let's hear you.
Thank you. Yesterday I actually wanted to call on this health issue. I couldn't make it through yesterday to the call.
Okay. Sorry about
Nigeria know how to us. We're always praying for ourselves. You know, I've had a share of this medical thing twice. Like I've always started because I think I was still on through it. I wanted to when I wanted to give birth to my second child, I gave birth 3 years. And the electrician, I was not sleeping, but there was no pain. They will give you the half dose, and you'll be awake. So the doctors had, the senior doctor had 2 other new doctors, young doctors, I just graduated with him. And when they were doing the operation this year, the senior doctor was telling the younger doctor, bring this thing. He will go and bring another thing. Bring this thing. He will go and bring the young doctor, they will bring another thing. So I heard when the senior doctor was, which school did you finish from there? And you are sure you are graduated. You went to this thing, you went to this school. They were mentioning their school. I was hearing. In my mind, I was just praying, God, please, have mercy on me. So the matron that came in and said, doctor, you will have just called me now. So it was the matron that was not helping the doctor to bring sizes that they use for the operation. So what am I trying to say is that, even our system, educational system, there's a way. A nurse was telling me recently how they were writing a final exam, and a nurse student was cheating. He was cheating. So that kind of a person now will come out and say, I am a nurse. I am a nurse. So most of them are just going there, nearly rubbish. Okay, I was just praying that God, please help me. Don't let enemy use these people. That was how we skate through that period. The following day, when I was at the ward, I saw the young doctor was beating my fight, trying to come and attend to me. I said, God, beg you. Please. I need the senior doctor. Don't attend to me. I have the right to see the doctor I want to see. Till I left out, I didn't let those young doctors to come close to me. The second fair I had, my child was he was not feeling well. We went to the hospital, and the drug said, they say he had malaria. So the doctor prescribed some medications and injection and all. So after the injection, they gave us the drugs. So I checked the drugs. I noticed that our medications they gave us, there was no paracetamol. So I went back to the nurse. I said, ma, this medication, there's no paracetamol for a child that's having malaria. Yeah, that's the way they will react to you. So I carried the drug. I went back to the doctor. Ma, you did not put paracetamol in this our drug. So really, it was here on the side. Bring the drug. I gave him the drug. I gave her the drug. Bring the fight. They brought the fight. They now saw that it was another person's medication they were giving me. If not for that paracetamol that I did not know, that is how I would just carry somebody else's medication and go home and be using it for malaria. At the end, everything will not be getting worse. We'll be going back and forth. My prayer every day is that in Nigeria not happen to me. I used to pray for myself. Whatever I want to do, if I'm going to the hospital, if I'm going to the market, if I'm going to anywhere, because there are situations where you will see that this country, are we really getting it right? May God help us. I just pray. I pray for those people that lost their life. I pray for the God to comfort their family. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Chijoke, for calling and sharing your experiences. And these are some of the things that we are talking about. These are some of the things that we're trying to see that we stop. Imagine going for surgery and the nervousness or the weight of you going to surgery, is there. And then you look around, the doctors and the nurses are not making it easy for you too. That's another thing. So I just hope that we get better as a country, and we cannot be, I can't, I think it's Buki that said so, or I can in one of the programs, say you will go inside with headache, you will come out with infection. You will go inside with stomach pain, you will come out with something that will make you, spend times two, or maybe affect your health times two from the hospital, which is not supposed to be so. All right, so I would just like to have our concluding thoughts, just in less than a minute from each of us. So, Buki, I'll start with you because you have not finished your comments there. So, just in less than a minute. Go ahead, please.
Okay, sorry. I think it was Susan that said that statement, if I can actually remember. But
Yes, yes, yes.
my concluding thought is this: it's still this anyhow matter. In the medical school, I want to believe that anyhow matter mindset is still there. Look at what Mrs. Chijoke mentioned. Young doctors that are still supposed to be fresh go and bring these size scissors, you are bringing something else entirely, so my own is, with all this investigation that they are doing, they need to come up, if they have to reform the whole standard operating procedure, they
Hmm.
need to. They just need to. Then lastly, I was talking about, when I wanted to mention the issue of the nurse, a nurse telling the doctor and doctor saying this thing. Part of the reform should be, after every surgery, let everybody make a report. I was using the case of the security officers. The one doing night is handing over. He will report everything he saw that he left. Then the person who is coming will also report everything he saw. So if there's a discrepancy, the supervisor will take it up. That you said when you were leaving, you left 4 chairs. This one said, when I was taking over, I saw 2 chairs. There's a discrepancy. So that also has to come into the reform, because these are
Okay.
things that people are saying that, as a young nurse, I cannot talk to a doctor. Oh yeah, do your reports. Let the doctor also do their report, so that when they want to come for investigation, you can be spared, that you talk though. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Buki, for your thoughts. Ibinabo, in less than a minute, our time is up already. Just one or two sentences from you.
Okay, in addition to what Boki said, I want to say that, when there's no punishment for bad behavior, it often leads to behavior becoming a habit, a break
Hmm.
of norms, and then you lack learning from mistakes, and then it becomes a lifestyle. We
Sure.
should be punish those who have erred
Hmm.
in this sector, because I mean it's a very critical sector, and a life that is lost can never be recalled. You can't bring that life back. So there has to be a very stringent punishment for a careless doctor, please.
Okay.
And like
Come
Buki
on.
said, please, everybody, you can correct your boss without being rude. And a boss should allow himself or herself to be corrected, and don't feel too high, too big for your shoe size. Because we're talking about people's lives here. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Ibinabo. Susan, in just a sentence, our time is fast spent. Hi, Susan, are you with us? All right, then. We'll just leave it at that. This
Yes,
is where we're
sorry.
mm. All right. We will just leave it at
Okay.
that. Thank you
Can I
very
go
much,
ahead?
Susan. Our time is fast spent already, Susan. We need to go ahead and play some ads. But thank you very much. Thank you, ladies, for being a part of the program this morning. Do well to have a great day ahead. Let's meet up again tomorrow to finish up this week. All right, so that's it. I hope that our health professionals are listening and they will do what is right. Thank you all so much for the calls, Mrs. Oboli, Mrs. Joki, and for each and every one of you who tuned in this morning. My name is Rose Yusuf K, so do well to keep your dial locked right here on Women Radio WFM 91.7. Good morning.